Inferior scum. That is what Alexander snarled at me in front of the entire Alpha Summit. 5 brutal years after he'd tossed me aside for his engagement to Isabella, the arrogant bastard had the nerve to humiliate the Luna Queen he'd never deserved. His words dripping with venom that ignited a firestorm of rage and betrayal in my chest, reminding me just how deeply his betrayal had scarred me, like a wound that never fully healed, and how sweet my rise from the ashes would taste. A triumphant burn that fueled every step I'd taken since. In the hotel lobby, Alexander strode in with Isabella clinging to his arm like a trophy, her fingers digging in just a little too possessively, as if she sensed the undercurrents in the air. The werewolves around us quickly spotted him, their eyes lighting up with admiration as they crowded around, their voices overlapping in eager excitement. Alpha Alexander, I didn't think we'd see you at the Alliance Summit, taking over a pack and pushing it to near major status in just 5 years. You are so young and full of potential, one Alpha exclaimed, his tone laced with genuine awe. Another chimed in, leaning forward. You are here to snag the Alpha King's backing, right? That is the smart play. Alexander nodded curtly, his chin lifting with practiced confidence, and a wave of knowing murmurs rippled through the group. Over half the Alphas here were gunning for the favor of the legendary Alpha King, their ambitions hanging thick in the air like the scent of impending rain. Summolin's eyes flicked to Isabella, appraising her with a nod. And this has to be your future Luna. You two look like a power couple ready for an alliance. Perfect match. Isabella leaned in closer, her smile soft and practiced. But I caught the subtle tightness around her eyes, a flicker of insecurity beneath the polish. We haven't done the full soul bond yet, she said smoothly, her voice carrying just the right amount of warmth. We'll have the ceremony once the pack gets promoted. We hope you'll all come and celebrate with us. It would mean so much. Alexander's face tightened for a split second, a shadow crossing his features before he plastered on a fake grin, forcing the corners of his mouth up. We've been swamped with pack stuff, he added, his tone a bit too casual, like he was reciting lines. We've been committed forever. The ceremony's just paperwork at this point. More congrats poured in, the crowd's energy buoying them, but I stood there, a bit thrown. They still hadn't bonded. The question gnawed at me, stirring old resentments I'd buried deep. He'd popped the question to Isabella right after dumping me, all desperate for her pure bloodline's boost. His eyes gleaming with ambition back then. They should have sealed the deal years ago. What was the holdup? Was there a crack in their perfect facade that even they couldn't hide? Plus, a werewolf's rank ties right into their soul bond. It strengthens everything, from power to loyalty. Delaying it seemed like playing with fire. Right then, a hotel guard, definitely a wolf from his sharp, earthy scent, marched up to me, his face set in a hard scowl, brows furrowed in disapproval. Miss, this is an 8-star resort, he said gruffly, his voice low but authoritative. Not somewhere for outsiders to just stroll in and cause trouble. His eyes scanned me up and down, lip curling in open disgust, making my skin prickle with irritation. I'd been messing around on the beach with my pup, the sand still clinging to my clothes like stubborn memories, and now wading in the fountain. My pack scent was totally hidden beneath the water and salt. No surprise they pegged me wrong. I looked every bit the disheveled intruder. I said fast, trying to keep my voice calm despite the rising frustration. Sorry, my pup's amulet dropped in the fountain. I'll head back to my room as soon as I grab it. I'll cover any damage. Really, I don't want any trouble. The guard cut me off, all impatient, waving a hand dismissively. With that plain human smell on you, no way you are a guest here. Get off pack land, now, before I make you. His voice carried sharp, echoing slightly in the vast lobby, with wolf hearing. Every alpha nearby turned to the noise, their curiosity piqued like predators sensing weakness. What is a human doing here? One muttered, disdain clear. The gall-polluting pack territory like that, another added, their words stinging like barbs. Just then, Alexander looked over, his stride faltering. Our eyes locked. He went still, recognition flashing in his gaze like a storm cloud. "Sophia?" he breathed, the word escaping before he could mask it. The guard glanced at him, surprised, arching a brow. "Alpha Alexander, you know her." Alexander's face closed off instantly, his expression hardening into that familiar mask of indifference, tone all dismissive. "A human my dad's pack sheltered once," he said coolly, as if the words tasted bitter. "We're not tight, not anymore." He looked away abruptly, like another peek would dirty him, the same sneer twisting his lips as when he kicked me out all those years ago, reopening that old ache in my chest. That emboldened the guard, who reached to shove me roughly, his hand heavy with intent. "So that is the story. I've dealt with your kind before," he sneered, his voice dripping with contempt. "Get a bit of pack help, and you think you can mooch off wolves forever. Pathetic." I dodged his push with a quick step, my annoyance flaring into quiet anger, my heart pounding. "I said I'll bounce once I find it," I repeated firmly, trying to hold on to my composure. "I'll pay for the mess, whatever it takes." He laughed, all mocking, a harsh bark that echoed, "Pay. A weak little human like you." He pointed at the fountain I'd dirtied, the water now murky with sand. "Know what this is? Custom moonstone piece by a top wolf craftsman. This thing's worth 300 grand. How are you gonna cover that?" "With what? Your tears." He grabbed for me again, his fingers brushing my arm. I felt his alpha pressure. Low rank, sure, but plenty to scare a normal human, a heavy weight pressing down like invisible chains. But not me. It slid off like water, my inner strength holding firm. "Enough." Alexander's voice cut through, sharp and unexpected. He, already at the elevators, spun back, his footsteps echoing as he came over, face blank, but eyes cold like I was nobody, a stranger he'd rather forget. "What were you after?" he demanded, his voice low, edged with irritation. "How much? I'll hand it over. Just name it." Then, leaning closer, he whispered harsh, full of scorn that twisted like a knife. "Don't pull this to get my attention. It is sad, Sophia. I got zero interest in a lowlife like you anymore." Isabella gripped his arm tighter, her nails digging in subtly, smile sweet, but eyes gleaming with a victorious glint, like she'd won some invisible battle. "Sophia, we're about to mate," she said gently. But there was a sharpness beneath, a calculated pity. "I get you were hurt from the split. It must have been devastating. But the gap between wolf and human was always huge. It wasn't gonna work, no matter how hard you tried. Time to drop the fight and find some self-respect, for your own sake." Her words hung there, laced with false concern, making my stomach churn with suppressed rage. I smiled thin, meaning it despite the bitterness rising in my throat. "Hope you get a healthy air quick," I replied evenly. My voice steady, though inside I felt the old wounds pulse. Ignored them after that, squatting to keep searching the fountain, my hands trembling slightly in the cool water. It was a gem his dad found for him on his first beach trip. A simple thing, but it meant everything to my boy, a tangible piece of innocence in this chaotic world. "What'll make you split?" Alexander snapped, his patience fraying, voice rising. "Or are you still stuck on the vows I made to Isabella? Is that what this is about?" He yanked out his phone, tapping away with frustrated jabs. "Fine, I'll set up a small PAX protection mark for you. Just take it and vanish. Don't show up again, Sophia. I mean it." "My mate's always been Isabella," he continued, his tone defensive, like he was convincing himself. "Those 2 years with you, just pity for a weakling. I felt sorry for you. This marks enough for a fresh start," he added, glancing up briefly. "Find a human guy who is on your level and quit chasing me. It is over." Then his fingers stopped, the screen's glow highlighting the shock on his face as it drained of color. "Your pack link's gone," he murmured, disbelief creeping in. "You are a rogue with no pack?" His voice cracked just a fraction, a hint of something like concern, Or maybe regret slipping through. I glanced faint and kept feeling the fountain bottom, my fingers numb from the cold water, ignoring the pull of his gaze. Me old Mark got overwritten by a way stronger one 5 years back, a bond that thrummed with power even now. Of course he couldn't spot it. He wasn't worthy. But no point explaining to him. It would only feed his ego. I don't need your protection, I said quietly, my voice firm, laced with the quiet strength I'd earned. Alexander stared at his phone, face darkening, a storm brewing in his eyes. Sophia, do you even get what being a rogue means? He pressed, his tone urgent, almost pleading. No pack shield, you are just prey out there. Any beta could tear you up, no sweat. It'd be over in seconds. Isabella stepped up, her eyes mixing pity and sneer, a toxic blend that made my skin crawl. Sophia, I know you never really accepted your place, she said softly, but her words cut. But you are just human. You can't wake your wolf and your bloods. Well, it is trash, honestly. Alexander offering protection back then was super kind, more than you deserved. Drop the fake pride before it gets you killed. The watching wolves muttered among themselves, their voices a low hum of judgment. I heard their laughs, felt their mocking stares like physical weights, pressing down on my shoulders. A human thinking she could snag an alpha's love, delusional. Look at her mess, probably scraping by like a stray these years, begging for scraps. Humans are humans, good for slaves and toys, nothing more. My fingers finally hit a smooth round stone. My boy's moonstone relief flooded me, warm and soothing amidst the chaos. I pulled it careful from the water, wiped it gently on my shirt, cradling it like the precious thing it was. Got it, I said, relieved, my voice soft with triumph starting to stand, my legs a bit shaky from the tension. Suddenly, a hand clamped my wrist hard, sending a jolt of pain up my arm. Alexander's grip like iron, yanking me up roughly, his face inches from mine. Sophia, he said low, but every wolf heard, his breath hot against my skin. You turned down my protection before, like it was nothing. Now no pack in this city wants you, huh? Is that it? This is what rejecting an alpha gets you, you thankless bitch. His words spat out, laced with hurt masked as anger. His fingers squeezed tighter, pain shooting through my wrist like fire. But I worried more he'd crush the moonstone in my hand, the fragile symbol of my son's joy. Let go, I demanded, my voice rising, laced with desperation. Let go, Alexander sneered, his eyes flashing. You know how many rogue humans die out there without pack cover, torn apart, forgotten. Is that what you want? I am giving you one last shot, he growled, his grip unrelenting. Kneel and beg, like a dog. Maybe I'll let you be the bottom slave in my pack. It is more than you deserve now. I looked at Alexander, searching his face. All smug and mean. No trace of the soft guy he once was, the one who'd whispered promises in the dark. It hurt, seeing the transformation, a pang of loss for what we'd been. I said, I don't need it, I repeated, my voice steady despite the ache. Why? He yelled suddenly, blasting his alpha power outward, a wave of dominance that made the air thick. Who else wants you? A tossed, aside human. Who but me would even bother? His power was strong, and the low ranks around bowed instinctively, their heads dipping in submission. But to me, it was nothing. A faint breeze against the fortress of my true bond. A bigger power shielded me inside. My true mate's mark, warm and unyielding, a constant reminder of where I belonged. Because I lifted my head slowly, meeting his eyes with calm defiance. I got a fated mate already. The words hung there, simple, yet shattering, my heart steadying with the truth of them. Alexander's hand went loose, slipping away as his face shifted from rage to shock. Then utter disbelief, his mouth opening slightly. You are human, he stammered, voice cracking. How could you have a mate? That is impossible. Lobby chatter grew louder, whispers full of doubt and mocking laughs swirling around us. How is a human got a mate? Doesn't work that way. She is bullshitting. Has to be. Just to piss him off, poor girl. Alexander stared at me, his eyes searching mine desperately. Sophia, do you think lying like this will rile me up? Make me jealous? You are a human, he continued, his voice rising. No wolf awake inside you, no pack smell at all. What wolf would ever claim you as his mate? Tell me. He stepped closer, his power flaring again, hot and oppressive. Or did you hook up with some random human dude and have the audacity to call him your mate? Is that your level now? I didn't reply, just held the moonstone tight in my fist, its cool surface grounding me. My boy waited upstairs. No time to waste on this ghost from my past, though the pull of old emotions tugged at my heartstrings. Seeing my silence, Isabella's lips twisted into a mean smile, her eyes narrowing with malice. Since Sophia wants to be an alpha's mate so bad, she said, her voice sweet but dripping poison. Why don't we let her stay and help out a bit? She looked around the room, gesturing grandly, her tone mock generous. You all are alpha leaders, and you'll need someone to serve drinks during the meetings. Sophia, this is a great chance for you. Who knows? Maybe you'll manage to snag one of them after all. It is more dignified than begging for protection, isn't it? She added, her smile widening but her eyes cold. The surrounding werewolves burst into laughter, the sound harsh and echoing. To them, making an alpha's ex-human girlfriend into a serving girl was a delightful bit of sport, a way to assert their superiority. Awesome idea. Let her do some menial work. It suits her kind perfectly. Humans are meant to serve our kind. Nothing wrong with that. How kind of Isabella to even offer her the chance. I'd have just thrown her out like yesterday's trash. I laughed mad, the sound bubbling up from deep frustration. Are you deaf? I said. Let me go, now. My refusal made Isabella's face darken, her sweet mask slipping. Sophia, you are truly ungrateful, she hissed, her voice sharpening. I am offering you the honor of serving our kind, and you dare refuse. Do you even know your place? Alexander's face grew even uglier, twisted with confusion and anger. Sophia, what the hell do you want from me? He demanded, his voice rough. Cash, some status in a minor pack, or do you want me back? I am telling you, it is impossible. My mate will only ever be a pure-blood wolf like Isabella. Get that through your head, finally. Just then, several uniformed pack guards strode over, their boots thudding purposefully. The guard immediately pointed at me, his finger accusatory. Captain, this human contaminated the hotel fountain and is refusing to leave. The captain's expression turned grim, his jaw set. An extremely important guest is attending the summit today. The Alpha King of the Midnight Moon Pack. He brought his Luna and their heir. This is their family's first public appearance. Therefore, there can be absolutely no incidents. His gaze landed on me sharp and venomous, making me feel exposed. Especially from you, you inferior human. Your very presence is an insult to the esteemed Alpha King. Two guards stepped forward, their hands reaching to drag me away by force, their grips firm and unyielding. Just then, Alexander spoke up, his voice cutting through. Wait, he called, his tone conflicted. Alexander's gaze was locked on the moonstone in my hand. His body trembled slightly, his voice raspy with unexpected emotion. Sophia, why don't you understand? I stopped needing tokens from the weak a long time ago. There was a crack in his voice, a hint of nostalgia that he quickly suppressed. Seeing Alexander's expression, memories flooded back unbidden, pulling me under like a tide. It was a rainy night 5 years ago. Alexander, having just taken over the pack, was being questioned by the elders for his lack of strength. He was sitting alone on the training grounds, covered in wounds, rain mixing with blood on his skin. When I found him, he was staring blankly at a common stone in his hand, his shoulders slumped in defeat. What is that? I asked softly, kneeling beside him, my heart aching at his vulnerability. A moonstone, he said with a bitter laugh, his voice hoarse. They say it is a sacred object that it brings a wolf's strength and comfort. But I've been holding it for so long, and I am still so weak, still failing. I sat beside him, gently tending to his wounds with careful touches, my fingers light on his skin. Strength isn't gained overnight, I murmured reassuringly. You are already working so hard. Give yourself time. Elena. Wait, no, Sophia. He turned to look at me, his eyes full of raw vulnerability, glistening in the dim light. If I become strong enough one day, will you still be by my side through all this? I will, I answered without hesitation, my voice soft but certain, squeezing his hand. Strong or weak, I'll always be by your side, I promise. Back then, he had squeezed my hand tightly, as if I were his most precious moonstone, his anchor in the storm. But now, he called it a token from the weak, dismissing it like it meant nothing, and the contrast twisted in my gut like a knife. Sophia, Isabella said, annoyed at my distant gaze snapping me back. What are you thinking about? Hand over that stone already, it is not yours to keep. I snapped back to reality and saw that everyone was staring at the moonstone in my hand, their eyes hungry. Hand it over. Why should I asked, my voice steady but edged with defiance. The captain stepped forward, his tone severe and unyielding. The moonstone is a sacred artifact of the werewolf people. It is not something a human like you can possess. Where did you steal it from? Answer truthfully. I didn't steal it, I frowned, frustration building. My son found it on the beach. It is his. The beach. Isabella scoffed, her laugh high and disbelieving. Sophia, if you are going to lie, at least make it believable. True moonstones are only found in sacred werewolf lands. How could one possibly be on a public beach? You must have stolen it. Admit it. The guard immediately agreed, nodding vigorously. Yes, it has to be stolen. How could a human legally possess a moonstone? It is forbidden. The captain's expression hardened further. Theft of a sacred artifact is a major crime. According to pack law, you will face severe punishment, imprisonment or worse. I told you, it is not stolen. My patience was wearing thin, my voice rising with exasperation. Then prove it, Alexander finally said, his voice calm but challenging. Otherwise, as the highest, ranking alpha here, I have the right to hand you over to the pack tribunal for judgment. At this tense moment, the elevator doors suddenly dinged open, a soft chime cutting through the heaviness. A tiny figure darted out, crying as he ran, his small feet pattering on the marble floor. Mommy, Mommy. Where is my stone, Daddy said. You'd find it for me. His voice was high and tearful, breaking my heart. It was my 3-year-old pup, Ethan, his cheeks flushed and eyes wide with worry. My heart melted at the sight of him, all the anger dissolving into tenderness. I knelt down, arms open wide, my voice soft and soothing. Mommy found it. It is right here, see, safe and sound. The surrounding werewolves were stunned into silence. The boy was no older than 3, yet the aura of a pure-blooded wolf radiated from him, an aura so potent it was oppressive, filling the room like a tangible force. This child, the captain stammered, his confidence faltering. Isabella suddenly rushed forward and snatched Ethan from my arms, her movements quick and possessive. He carries a high-level wolf bloodline, she announced, her voice triumphant but edged with shock. How could an inferior human like Sophia possibly birth such a cub? It is impossible. Ethan struggled and screamed in her arms, his little fists pounding. Mommy, Mommy, I want my mommy, let me go. The cub must have been abducted. Isabella declared loudly, holding him tighter. Sophia is not only a thief of sacred artifacts, she is a trafficker of an alpha's heir. The lobby erupted in outrage, voices rising in a cacophony. Trafficking an alpha's heir, unthinkable. Gods, it just proves humans can't shed their vile nature to dare abduct one of our own cubs. No wonder she had the moonstone. She must have stolen it along with the child. The captain immediately ordered his men, his voice barking. Restrain her. This is a major criminal offense. Do it now. Several guards rushed forward, pinning my arms behind my back with rough hands. I tried to struggle, twisting against their hold, but they were too strong, too many, their grips like vices. "Let me go!" I roared in fury, my voice echoing with desperation and maternal protectiveness. "Your cub?" Isabella sneered, still holding the crying Ethan, her eyes gleaming with malice. "A human birthing a high-blood wolf, Sophia. Your lies are growing more absurd by the second, pathetic, really." Ethan was sobbing his heart out in her arms, his small body shaking. "Mommy! I want my mommy! You are a bad lady! A bad lady! Give me back!" Seeing my son in such distress was like a knife to my heart. Twisting deep, the pain sharp and unbearable, I fought with all my might, muscles straining, but the guards held me tighter, their dominance pressing down. "Sophia." Alexander walked over slowly and looked down on me. His expression one of profound disappointment, mixed with a flicker of sorrow he couldn't hide. "I knew you were a greedy human, but I never imagined you would sink this low, stealing a child. Theft, kidnapping, lying. Is there anything you won't do to get back at me?" he asked, his voice heavy. "I was right not to choose you back then," he added softly, almost regretfully. "You are not worthy of being an alpha's mate, not like this." He turned to the captain. "Take her away. Hand her over to the pack tribunal. As for the child, start contacting the major packs to see who is missing an heir." "No," I shook my head frantically, tears stinging my eyes. "Ethan is my son. You can't take him from me. Please." Just then, the elevator doors opened again with a soft whoosh. A man exuding an aura of absolute dominance stepped out. He was 6'3", dressed in a perfectly tailored black suit that hugged his powerful frame, and carried himself with the majesty of a king. Every movement commanding respect. More terrifying was the power of his alpha scent, so potent it left everyone breathless, the air thickening with his presence. Every werewolf present, including Alexander, instinctively lowered their heads in a gesture of respect, bodies tensing. "Alpha King," they murmured in unison. The man's silver eyes swept across the room, cool and assessing, finally landing on me. The moment our gazes met, my own eyes burned hot with recognition and relief, a warmth spreading through me. In the next second, an immense power erupted from within me. Golden wolf eyes flashed within my own, fierce and alive, and the dormant mark on my neck began to burn and glow, a tingling heat that spread like wildfire. The entire lobby was instantly bathed in silvery moonlight, ethereal and commanding, casting long shadows. In the silver light, Ethan broke free from Isabella's grasp and stumbled toward the man who had just appeared, his small legs pumping. "Daddy, Daddy," he cried, reaching up. The little boy threw himself into the man's arms, clinging tightly to his neck. The man scooped him up with one hand, gently stroking his back with the other, his touch tender. "It is okay, little one," he murmured soothingly, his deep voice calming. "Daddy's here now. I've got you." Then, he looked at me, his eyes full of heartache and guilt, softening in a way that made my chest ache. "Sophia, I am late," he said quietly, regret thick in his tone. "Forgive me." I felt the hands restraining me suddenly release their grip. The guards backed away in terror, reeling from the Alpha King's absolute dominance, their faces pale. I stood up slowly, my legs unsteady, and walked toward my mate, each step feeling like coming home. "Marcus," I whispered, my voice breaking with emotion. He pulled me into his arms, completely ignoring my disheveled state. His embrace warm and safe, enveloping me like a shield, instantly melting away all my anger and hurt, leaving only peace. "My Luna," he whispered in my ear, his breath warm, then lifted his head and surveyed the room, his expression shifting to steel. The lobby was deathly silent. Every werewolf remained in a posture of utmost respect, none daring to look up at him, bodies rigid, except for Alexander. His eyes were wide, his face ashen, as if he'd seen the end of the world, shock etching deep lines. "Sophia, you are." His voice trembled, breaking. "You are the Alpha King's Luna." "And a werewolf. How?" I didn't answer him, just leaned into Marcus's embrace, savoring the long-lost sense of security. His heartbeat steady against mine. Marcus looked at Alexander coldly, his silver eyes piercing. "He is your ex?" he asked. The question simple, but his tone laced with menace, a low growl underlying. All felt his killing intent, the air charging with it. "Marcus." I gently touched his chest, feeling the tension there. "Not in front of the child, please." His expression softened immediately, the menace fading, but his gaze remained icy as he looked at Alexander. "You are lucky this time." Alexander finally snapped out of his shock, his emotions spiraling, face contorting. "No, this is impossible. Sophia, you can't do this to me," he burst out, voice raw. He staggered forward a step. "When we broke up 5 years ago, you were just a human. How could you become the Alpha King's Luna? It doesn't make sense." His words made everyone in the room gasp softly, the audacity hanging heavy. To question the Alpha King's Luna was suicide, and they knew it. Marcus's eyes became dangerous, narrowing. "Are you questioning my mate?" he asked quietly, but the threat was clear. An immense wave of dominance crashed down on Alexander, forcing him to his knees with a thud. But he was still defiant, looking up. "Sophia, I admit I was wrong back then," he pleaded, voice desperate. "But my alliance with Isabella was just to consolidate my power. I always planned to come back for you once I was strong enough, once I could give you everything." "I never truly loved her," he insisted, eyes pleading. "I've always loved you, only you." Hearing this ridiculous excuse, I couldn't help but laugh, the sound bitter and freeing. "So I should have waited for you to come back and claim me after you were done playing politics, like some prize on a shelf." "No." Alexander shook his head desperately, sweat beading on his forehead. "Sophia, I know I was wrong. I am willing to give up everything now, if you'll just come back to me. Please. Even if you are the Alpha King's Luna, I don't care," he rambled. "I can wait for you to break the bond, and then we can start over, build something real." His words sent Marcus into a rage, his body tensing beside me. The Alpha King's dominance slammed into Alexander like a tidal wave. "You want my mate to break her bond?" he growled, the words lethal. Alexander collapsed under the pressure, gasping, but his eyes were still stubbornly fixed on me. "Sophia, you can't forget what we had. You truly loved me for those 2 years. It was real." I looked at the man on the floor, the man who had once held my heart so completely, and felt only pity now, a sad echo of what was. "You are right, Alexander," I said softly, my voice steady. "I did truly love you, with everything I had." A flicker of hope sparked in his eyes, desperate and bright. But my voice became calm and firm, the finality settling in. "The Sophia who loved you died 5 years ago. She died on the night you threw me out of your life like I was nothing," I added, the memory stinging but no longer crippling. His face went completely white, the hope shattering. I turned my back on him and looked at Marcus, my true anchor. "Let's go. Ethan needs to sleep. He is exhausted." Marcus nodded, his hand gentle on my back. But before turning to leave, he looked at Alexander one last time. "Remember, she is my mate, my Luna, the mother of my cub. If you ever dare to think of her again, I will wipe your pack from this world." "Utterly," he warned, his voice like thunder. With that, he bit the back of my neck in front of everyone. The most intimate, possessive claim a wolf could make, his teeth grazing just enough to send a shiver of belonging through me. I closed my eyes, basking in the security of it, the bond pulsing warm and alive. Marcus gently placed the sleeping Ethan in my arms, his movements careful, then turned to face the entire lobby. The tenderness from a moment ago vanished, replaced by the absolute authority of the Alpha King, his presence commanding. Now, his voice wasn't loud, but every word carried to every person in the room, resonating. Somebody is going to explain to me why my Luna was being treated like a thief. The hotel's alpha manager stepped out from the crowd, trembling. His forehead slick with cold sweat, hands clasped nervously. "Alpha King, this is a misunderstanding," he stammered. "We had no intention of offending the Luna. None at all. A misunderstanding." Marcus sneered, his tone dripping with sarcasm. "I saw your guards lay hands on my mate, with my own eyes, and someone accused her of stealing a sacred artifact and kidnapping a cub," he continued, his voice hardening. "Is that a misunderstanding too?" The other alphas, sensing the shift in the wind, immediately turned on the hotel staff, their voices rising in opportunistic outrage. "Outrageous. To be so disrespectful to the Luna. Unforgivable. This hotel's management has serious problems. They should be ashamed. Alpha King, we can all testify that their behavior was appalling, completely out of line." The manager dropped to his knees with a thud, his voice quivering like a leaf in a storm, eyes downcast. "Alpha King Marcus, please." "We didn't know," he pleaded, words tumbling out. She appeared as a human, no pack scent detectable at all. The guard was just doing his job, protecting the premises from intruders. We never imagined she was, the Luna Queen. Marcus's silver eyes narrowed, cutting through the excuses like a blade, his jaw clenching. "Your job protecting from intruders," he repeated, his voice low and dangerous. "My Luna, the queen of the Midnight Moon Pack, is no intruder, and yet, your men dared to touch her, to accuse her of crimes she could never commit, crimes against our kind." He glanced at me, his hand still resting protectively on my shoulder, a reassuring warmth. Ethan's small form nestled against my chest. The boy's soft, even breathing was the only sound, breaking the heavy silence for a moment, a stark contrast to the turmoil inside me. I felt a surge of mixed emotions, relief at being in Marcus's arms again, his strength enveloping me like a shield, but also a lingering sting from the humiliation, sharp and persistent. 5 years ago, when Alexander had cast me out, calling me worthless. I'd been shattered, pieces of my heart scattered like broken glass. But Marcus had found me in my darkest hour, awakened the wolf within me that I never knew existed, a latent power surging to life, and made me his, whole again. Now, standing here, I wasn't just Sophia anymore. I was the Luna Queen, risen and unbreakable. And yet, these fools had treated me like dirt, dredging up that old vulnerability, making my chest tighten with unresolved pain. The captain, who had been so bold earlier, now looked like he wanted to melt into the floor, his face pale, avoiding eye contact. "Sire," it was the appearance. The sand on her clothes, the fountain disrupted. He mumbled, voice shaky. "We thought, honestly, we assumed she was." "You thought wrong," Marcus interrupted, his voice a low growl that sent shivers through the room, vibrating in the air. "And thinking wrong has consequences, severe ones. This summit is meant to unite packs, to build strength together, not degrade my family or question my mate." Isabella, still standing beside Alexander, who was struggling to rise from his knees, his legs unsteady, cleared her throat, her face pale but trying to compose herself, her hands twisting nervously. "Alpha King, if I may," she began hesitantly, her voice smaller than before. "We were all misled completely, Sophia. The Luna didn't reveal her identity right away. Perhaps if she had said something sooner." Marcus's gaze snapped to her like a whip, and she shrank back, flinching. "Are you suggesting my mate owes you an explanation for her presence?" he asked coldly, each word measured. "In a public hotel during a summit open to alliances? Think carefully before you speak again." No, of course not," Isabella stammered, her sweet facade cracking further, cheeks flushing. "I just meant it was chaotic, emotions running high. We didn't mean any harm." Alexander finally pushed himself up, his face a mask of barely contained fury and regret, breathing heavy. Marcus, Alpha King. This is on me, he admitted, his voice rough with emotion. I didn't recognize her power at first. I thought she was still. Human like before, I was trying to help, in my way, protect her or something. Help? I couldn't hold back a bitter laugh, the sound escaping before I could stop it, shifting Ethan slightly in my arms to ease the ache. By offering me slave status in your pack. By accusing me of kidnapping my own son. That is your idea of help, Alexander. It felt more like cruelty. He winced visibly, his eyes pleading, filled with a storm of regret. Sophia, I was blind, completely lost in my own assumptions, he said, voice cracking. I didn't know. If I'd known you were. This powerful this. I never would have said those things. Please, believe me. Enough, Marcus commanded, his dominance rippling out again like a wave, forcing Alexander back a step, the air thickening. Your ignorance doesn't excuse the insult, not even close. As for the hotel, he turned to the manager, his gaze unyielding. You will compensate my Luna for the distress caused, and your guards will be reassigned, far from any position of authority where they can't harm innocents again. The manager nodded frantically, sweat dripping. Yes, Alpha King, anything you command. We'll make it right, I swear. Marcus looked around the room slowly, his expression unyielding, taking in every face. Let this be a lesson to all of you, he said firmly. The Midnight Moon Pack values strength, but also respect, for all, especially my family. Insult them again, and alliances will shatter like glass. With that, he guided me toward the elevators, his arm around my waist, a protective anchor. As the doors closed with a soft hiss, I caught one last glimpse of Alexander's devastated face, eyes haunted. Isabella clutching his arm like it was a lifeline, her own expression crumbling. The lobby buzzed with whispers as we ascended, but I tuned it out, focusing on Ethan's peaceful sleep, his small chest rising and falling, and Marcus's steady presence beside me, a balm to my frayed nerves. In our suite, Marcus helped me tuck Ethan into bed, his large hands surprisingly gentle as he brushed a curl from our son's forehead, his touch lingering with fatherly affection. He missed you today, Marcus murmured, his voice soft, eyes warm as they met mine. We both did, more than you know, I smiled. But it felt tight, strained from the day's weight. It was just a beach day, I replied quietly, smoothing the blanket. But things got complicated, didn't they? He pulled me close, his lips brushing my temple lightly, sending a shiver of comfort through me. I am sorry I wasn't there sooner, he whispered, guilt edging his words. Summit meetings ran long, too long. It is fine, I said, though the day's events still churned inside me like a storm, emotions swirling. But Alexander, seeing him like that, still thinking he owns some part of me, like I never moved on. It hurts, Marcus, not because I care for him anymore, that is long gone, but because it reminds me of how low I was, how broken before you. Marcus's eyes darkened with protective anger, his arms tightening around me. He'll pay for it. In time, he promised, voice low. But tonight, let's focus on us, on what we have. He kissed me deeply, reigniting the bond that had saved me years ago. His lips firm yet tender, pulling me back to the present, to safety. The next morning, the summit buzzed with the fallout from last night's drama, the air thick with hushed conversations. Whispers followed me everywhere. As Marcus and I entered the grand conference hall, their eyes flicking our way like curious darts. Ethan stayed back in the suite with trusted pack nannies, safe and oblivious. Sophia, Marcus said quietly, as we took our seats at the head table, his hand squeezing mine under the table. Ignore them. You are above this, far above. I nodded, forcing a small smile, but inside, doubts crept in like shadows lengthening at dusk. I'd hidden my true nature for so long, even from myself, burying it deep, born human, or so I thought, until Marcus's bite awakened my latent wolf blood, a rare hybrid lineage that surged through me like fire. Now, as Luna Queen, I had power, respect. But the past clung like shadows, whispering insecurities. The meetings dragged on, discussions about alliances, territory disputes, and threats from rogue packs filling the room. Alexander's pack was up for promotion, and he presented confidently, his voice steady, though his eyes kept flicking to me, lingering too long, stirring unease. Isabella sat beside him, her smile forced, tight at the edges. During a break, she approached me in the hallway, her heels clicking sharply on the floor, echoing my growing tension. "Luna Sophia," she said, voice saccharine, overly sweet. "Can we talk privately, just for a moment?" I raised an eyebrow, crossing my arms defensively. "What about?" I asked, keeping my tone neutral. She glanced around nervously, lowering her voice. "Last night, I want to apologize," she said, eyes meeting mine briefly. "I didn't mean to escalate things like that. Alexander and I were just shocked, completely caught off guard." "Shocked," I echoed, arms tightening. "Or jealous. You snatched my son from my arms. Isabella called me a trafficker in front of everyone. That wasn't shock. That was vicious." Her eyes widened, a flash of regret. Or was it calculation, crossing her face? I thought, "He couldn't be yours," she admitted softly. "A human birthing a pure blood. It didn't make sense to me at the time. I panicked." "I am not human," I said flatly, the words carrying the weight of my transformation. "Not anymore. And even if I were, Ethan is mine, blood and soul." She bit her lip, glancing down. "Alexander's been a mess since," she confessed, voice dropping. "He still talks about you, you know, in his sleep sometimes. Your name, like a ghost." That hit like a punch, an unexpected ache blooming in my chest. "Why are you telling me this?" I asked, voice sharper than intended. "Because," she leaned in closer, eyes searching mine, "if you still feel anything for him, anything at all, maybe we can work something out. Share alliances or something more, for the pack's sake." I laughed incredulously, the sound hollow. "You are offering to share your mate? Desperate much, Isabella?" Her face hardened, the sweetness vanishing. "I am practical," she snapped quietly. "His pack needs strength. Yours has it in spades. Think about it." "Get lost, Isabella," I said firmly, turning away. "I am happy with Marcus, truly." As she walked away, her shoulders tense, I felt a chill run down my spine. Was this her game, stirring old feelings, planting seeds of doubt? The thought lingered, unsettling. Back in the meeting, Marcus announced new alliances, including a tentative one with Alexander's pack. For stability's sake, he explained. Alexander accepted gratefully, his voice formal, but his gaze on me was hungry, intense, making my skin prickle. That night, in our suite, Marcus and I shared a quiet dinner, the room softly lit. Ethan played with his moonstone on the floor, giggling innocently. "Mommy, tell story about beach," he begged, eyes bright. I smiled, recounting a light version, my voice warm. But Marcus watched me closely, his intuition sharp. "Something bothering you?" he asked gently, setting down his fork. "Isabella cornered me today," I admitted, sighing. "Tried to, I don't know, manipulate me about Alexander, stir things up." His jaw tightened, eyes flashing. "She what? That woman has no boundaries." "It is nothing," I said, though uncertainty gnawed. "Just petty games." But as we went to bed, his arms around me, I couldn't shake the unease. What if the past wasn't done with me? The shadows felt closer, whispering. The summit entered its third day, and the air thickened with politics, alliances hanging by threads. Marcus was deep in negotiations, his focus intense, leaving me to handle lighter duties, meeting with Luna representatives from allied packs. They were polite, smiles gracious, but I sensed underlying envy in their glances, a subtle undercurrent. "Luna Sophia," Your story is inspiring, one said warmly, but her eyes appraised me. From rogue to queen, how did you manage such a transformation? Strength and fate, I replied evenly. But inside, the word rogue stung like salt in a wound, echoing Alexander's taunts from years ago, reopening doubts I'd fought to bury. During lunch, Alexander found me alone in a side room, the door clicking shut behind him. Sophia, please, he said urgently, voice low. Talk to me, just for a minute. I stiffened, heart racing. What do you want, Alexander? I asked, keeping distance. He looked haunted, eyes shadowed with regret, stepping closer. To explain properly, he said, voice trembling slightly. 5 years ago, I was pressured by everyone. The elders wanted pure blood for the pack's future. Isabella's family had connections. Power. I thought I was doing right by everyone, by the pack. Everyone but me, I shot back, my heart racing with old pain, voice cracking. You called me inferior, Alexander, threw me out like trash, left me broken. Tears welled in his eyes, genuine sorrow flashing. I regret it every day. It haunts me, he whispered. Seeing you now with him, it kills me inside. You are glowing, powerful. Did I make you that way? No, I broke you first. And I hate myself for it. The conflict hit hard. Part of me pitied him, remembered the good times, the laughter and promises. But the betrayal burned hot, a fire in my veins. It is too late, I said firmly, though my voice wavered. I am Marcus's now completely. He grabbed my hand gently, his touch familiar yet foreign. Is it? Your eyes say different, he pleaded. There is still something there. I can feel it. I pulled away, conflicted, my heart torn. Leave before Marcus finds out, I whispered, turning away. But as he left, doubt seeded deep, sprouting. Did I still harbor feelings? No, impossible. But the emotional tug was real, stirring a storm inside, leaving me breathless. That afternoon, a rogue attack alert came. Scouts reported intruders near the hotel, tension spiking. Marcus rallied the alphas, including Alexander. We fight together, he declared, voice commanding. In the chaos, I stayed with Ethan, holding him close, but worry gnawed like teeth. What if this was tied to old grudges? The fear gripped me, amplifying the inner turmoil. The fight was swift but brutal, echoes of snarls and clashes filling the air. Marcus led the charge, his power decimating the rogues with ruthless efficiency. Alexander fought valiantly, his movements fierce, saving a fellow alpha from a fatal blow at the last second. When they returned, bloodied but victorious, Marcus clapped Alexander on the back firmly. Good work, he said gruffly. Your pack's promotion is approved. Earned it today. Alexander nodded, wiping blood from his brow, but his eyes sought me out. Intense. Thanks to you, Alpha King, he replied, voice steady, ladder. In private, Marcus confided, pulling me close. The rogues mentioned a betrayed one funding them, he said lowly. Targeting you, perhaps, someone with a grudge. My blood ran cold, fear icing my veins. Who? I whispered, heart pounding. Unknown, he admitted, holding me tighter, but we'll find out. I promise. That night, Isabella confronted me again, this time furious, cornering me in a dim hall. You think you can steal him back? She hissed, eyes blazing. I saw you two talking, don't deny it. I didn't. I started, defensive. Liar, she lunged, claws extending sharp, but I dodged, my own wolf surfacing instinctively, power surging. We clashed briefly, nails scraping, before guards separated us, breathing heavy. The reversal, Isabella accused me of seducing Alexander publicly, her voice carrying, turning some alphas against me. Whispers of unstable Luna spread like wildfire, doubting glances following. Marcus defended me fiercely, his dominance flaring. Touch her again, and your pack crumbles, he warned Isabella coldly. But the seed of distrust was planted, escalating the conflict, leaving me isolated in the crowd. The summit is fourth day dawn tense, the atmosphere charged. After Isabella's outburst, several alphas eyed me warily during the morning sessions, their respect tinged with suspicion. Marcus addressed it head on in the opening remarks. Last night's incident was a personal matter, resolved now, he stated firmly. Focus on unity, that is why we're here. But the damage lingered, festering. One alpha from a rival pack muttered loudly enough for wolf ears. A Luna who provokes fights, questionable leadership, if you ask me. I felt heat rise in my cheeks, embarrassment mixing with anger, but I held my head high, chin up. Inside, though, the emotional wound festered, being seen as the problem. Again, like 5 years ago when I'd been cast aside. During a break, Marcus pulled me aside into a quiet alcove. Don't let them get to you, he murmured, cupping my face. They're testing boundaries, nothing more. It is not just them, I confessed, voice trembling slightly, eyes meeting his. Alexander's words, they stirred things I thought were buried deep. I don't want him, Marcus, but the pain. It is confusing, like echoes I can't silence. His eyes softened, but a flicker of hurt crossed them. Vulnerable. Do you regret us? He asked quietly, searching my face. No. I grabbed his hands tightly, desperate. Never. You are my everything, my salvation. But facing the past is harder than I thought. It pulls at me. He kissed my forehead gently, lingering. We'll face it together. Always, he promised, his voice a soothing anchor. Meanwhile, Alexander approached Marcus privately, his posture subdued. Alpha King. About Sophia, he began hesitantly. I overstepped yesterday, but if there is a way to make amends, anything. Marcus's response was cold, unyielding. Amends. By coveting my mate? He retorted. Stay away from her. From us. Alexander backed off, nodding, but I caught him watching from afar, his expression a mix of longing and resentment, stirring more unease. That afternoon, investigations into the rogue attack revealed a shocking lead. Funds traced to Isabella's family pack. They wanted to destabilize alliances, a scout reported gravely. The conflict peaked when Marcus confronted Isabella publicly in the hall. Your family funded rogues against my pack, he demanded, voice thunderous. She paled, eyes wide. No, those are lies, fabrications, she protested. But evidence mounted, documents presented, fracturing her alliance with Alexander. He looked betrayed, turning to her. Isabella, is this true? He asked, voice breaking. She broke down, tears streaming. I did it for us, she sobbed, to weaken Midnight Moon, force a merger, secure our future. The hall erupted in chaos, voices rising, alliances shifting like sand. With Isabella's confession hanging in the air, the summit turned on her sharply, murmurs turning to accusations. Alexander distanced himself immediately, his face hardening. I had no knowledge of this. None, he declared firmly. My pack withdraws from any ties with hers, effective now. Marcus nodded approvingly, his gaze steady. Wise choice, he said. Shows character. But privately, Alexander cornered me again in a shadowed corner, his eyes intense. Sophia, this changes everything, he whispered urgently. Isabella's betrayal. It proves I was wrong about so much. We can start over now, clean slate. I stared, incredulous, heart pounding. Are you serious? After everything you've done? I asked, voice laced with disbelief. Yes, he insisted, stepping closer. I see now, you were always the one, the right one for me. The reversal hit like a slap. Just as I thought the past was closing, sealing shut, Alexander proposed dissolving his engagement publicly right there, vowing to pursue me with everything he had. It sparked outrage, gasps echoing, eyes widening. Marcus challenged him to a dominance duel on the spot, his voice lethal. You dare, he growled. No, Marcus, I pleaded, grabbing his arm. It is not worth it, please, for us. But the duel was set for dusk. Tension skyrocketing, the air electric with anticipation. In the arena, under fading light, they faced off. Alexander fought desperately, claws and power clashing. But Marcus's superiority overwhelmed, his strikes precise. At the last moment, Alexander yielded, panting. "I submit," he gasped. Marcus spared him, looming. "Exile yourself from alliances until you learn respect. True respect," he commanded. As night fell, I confronted my emotions in Marcus's arms. "Marcus, I love only you," I whispered, tears falling. He held me tight. "I know," he murmured, "but let's put this behind us. For good." Yet, a new threat loomed. Reports came that Isabella had escaped custody during the chaos, vowing revenge in a note left behind, her words chilling, days after the summit, back in the familiar embrace of Midnight Moon territory. Life should have settled into routine, the forests whispering peace. But Isabella's escape haunted us like a ghost, her shadow lingering in every report. Scouts hunted her tirelessly, but she vanished like smoke in the wind. Elusive, Ethan sensed the tension, his innocent eyes wide. "Mommy sad?" he asked one evening, climbing into my lap with small arms outstretched, his warmth a brief solace. "Just tired, sweetie," I said softly, hugging him close, inhaling his puppy scent. But inside, fear mixed with unresolved feelings, a tangled knot. Alexander's exile meant he was gone, physically, but his words echoed in quiet moments, stirring guilt that gnawed. Had I led him on by not shutting him down harder, more decisively? The thought twisted, self-doubt creeping. Marcus noticed my distraction during a pack meeting, his brow furrowing. "Sophia, what is eating at you?" he asked later, pulling me aside. Concern deep in his eyes, I hesitated, biting my lip. "The past won't let go," I admitted, voice small. Alexander's confession, it made me question if I ever truly healed from it all. His face fell, hurt flashing. "Do you wish things were different?" he asked quietly, vulnerable. The conflict tore at me, a storm inside. "No, but it hurts knowing I caused pain. To him, to us," I whispered. "And with Isabella out there, free. What if she targets Ethan? I couldn't bear it." "We'll protect him." "Protect you," Marcus assured, pulling me into his arms, but his eyes held worry, mirroring mine. That night, a note arrived, slipped under the door. Isabella's handwriting, elegant yet menacing. "You took everything from me. Now I'll take yours, starting with what you love most." Panic surged through me like ice water. Emotional walls cracked. I broke down in Marcus's arms, sobs racking. "I can't lose our family," I cried, clinging. "You won't," he vowed fiercely, holding me. "I swear it." But the hunt intensified, pulling us apart as Marcus led searches into the wilds, leaving me with growing fear. Weeks passed in a blur of patrols, the forest paths becoming familiar blurs. I joined one, needing action to quell the anxiety, my wolf restless. Deep in the dense wilds, we found Isabella's hideout, a makeshift rogue camp, hidden and fortified. The battle was fierce, snarls and clashes echoing. Isabella fought like a demon possessed, her claws aiming for me with venomous precision. "You stole my life, everything," she screamed, eyes wild. In the clash, bodies colliding, she revealed a shocking truth amid the fury. Alexander knew about the funding all along. She spat. "He planned it to get you back, to weaken Marcus and claim you." Your versal Alexander wasn't innocent. The realization hitting like a betrayal renewed. Fury boiled in me. "Liar, you are both liars," I roared, power surging. We captured her, binding her tightly. But Alexander, hearing of it through whispers, returned from exile uninvited, claiming innocence desperately. "It is her word against mine. She twists everything," he protested. Proof emerged soon after, intercepted messages proving his involvement, damning and clear. Marcus banished him permanently, his voice final. "You are done, gone from our world." Relief washed over me like rain, but the emotional scar deepened raw. How could I almost believe him again? I confided to Marcus later, voice trembling. "Because you are kind. Too kind sometimes," he said gently, kissing my forehead. "But now, it is over truly." With threats gone, silenced, we focused on healing, the pack mending together. Months later, the pack thrived under new alliances, stronger than before. The territories secure. Ethan grew stronger daily, training his wolf pup skills with eager energy. "Look, Mommy, I can shift watch," he exclaimed. One day, his small form shimmering, pride beaming. I laughed, pride swelling in my chest like a warm tide. But lingering doubts about my worth as Luna persisted, whispering in quiet moments. "Marcus, do the pack see me as weak?" I asked one night, voice soft, from human roots. "Does it matter still?" He shook his head, pulling me close. "They see your strength, the way you rose above it all," he murmured. "You are their queen because of it." A pack elder approached us soon after, wise eyes kind. "Luna, your story inspires us all," he said respectfully. "Would you host a ceremony to share it? It could unite us further." I agreed. Though anxiety built slowly, vulnerability looming, sharing my past meant exposing scars, but perhaps healing them too. The night of the ceremony, under a full moon, I stood before the pack, heart pounding. "I was once called inferior," I began, voice steadying. "Cast out, broken, but fate. And Marcus showed me my power, my place." Applause erupted, warm and genuine, but midway, a vision hit. My wolf sensing danger, a prickle at my neck. Rogues again, my pulse raced. No, it was a false alarm, the night calm, but it stirred old fears, making me cling tighter to Marcus. That night, in our chambers, Marcus and I rekindled our bond, his touches gentle yet passionate. "You are my queen," he whispered against my skin. "Always and forever." The words wrapped around me, soothing the last echoes of doubt.